Hi, Rein Brucker here. I get a regular series of questions about real estate in our upstate New York area, and I want to kind of address those real quickly for you. The one question is, during this COVID-19, is real estate selling or is it a good time to buy and sell? And my resounding answer is absolutely yes. There's never been a better time in my 40-year history in the business than the market the way it is in upstate New York, especially the greater Rochester area right now. People say, why is that? And they compare it to the 2008 crash. Well, the 2008 crash wasn't really induced by real estate. In fact, real estate pulled it out of the economic doldrums that it was in. That was more the mortgage market and the loose money market, where they made loans that were not really up to snuff where they are today. They didn't check as much credit back then. They gave out riskier loans, and the whole thing came crashing down. Unlike today, real estate is really at the forefront of digging us out of the economy again. So I feel confident that real estate is going to pull us out of this economic doldrum after this COVID-19 comes to pass. And it will come to pass. Nobody knows really how long it's going to take, but it will come to pass, and we got faith in that. Next on the list is what kind of sales do we have in real estate? Well, there's a lot more cash offers happening right now because people are tired of the roller coaster stock market. So what they're doing is a lot of people are taking their cash out of the stock market and putting it into real estate. Sometimes they'll be paying off their current loans. Sometimes they're going to use it to help buy their children their first home. That way they feel they've got something tangible to look at and something that's going to typically go up in value over time. And plus, it's a basic necessity, the shelter. You know, what else can you buy that you got to have anyway? I also get a lot of people saying, well, people are moving out of the area of upstate and they're selling and leaving the area. The one thing they forget to realize is if they're selling to somebody who's moving into the house. So, you know, as much as people are saying they're moving out, there's also people moving into the area. And it only stands to reason that houses are not going to stay vacant for very long because it's still a basic necessity. A lot of people talk about the taxes. Nobody's more in tune with the taxes and dislikes high taxes more than me or the next person who owns real estate. But by the same token, when you compare them to other places in the country, you have to compare apples to apples. For instance, I had a client not too long ago. He was looking for a house in Rochester, and he said, you know, Ryan, I can't believe every time I open the real estate section, how inexpensive the homes are, but how high the taxes are. And I said, well, speak to me about that. What are the taxes like in your area? And what he said was, well, I've got a $900,000 home down in Georgia, which the taxes are $3,400 a year. He found that the same house up here would cost him about $300,000 to $350,000, but he said the taxes are averaging about $8,500 a year. And I said, well, there's got to be services that don't compare apples to apples. So I said, what are the schools like down where you are? And he said, well, they're awful in that particular area. And I said, so what do you do? And I happen to know he had 3 school-age daughters. He said, well, we send them to private schools. I said, how much? He said, $4,500 each per year. So I said, okay, so hang in there with me. You got $4,500 each. That's $13,500 plus your $3,400. I said, you're over $15,000, $16,000 in services. And I said, and you're getting a house up here, you know, as nice or nicer than what you have down there. He says, you know, I never thought of it that way. So there are services, you got to compare apples to apples, that are going to be sacrificed, and somebody's got to pick them up somewhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of high taxes either because it makes everything more expensive as well. But you definitely got to compare apples to apples when it comes to taxes. To their credit, the state of New York did establish a tax reduction act called the STAR program. If you're not familiar with it, it stands for the School Tax Reduction Act. And it varies from community to town to town. You have to call the township and find out what the tax reduction would be for your particular case if you moved into that house. One of the things it's got to be owner occupied by you. It doesn't work on rental properties. And it only focuses on the tax, the school tax issue, and there are several different levels. There's the basic STAR, then there's the enhanced STAR, then you can get a further reduction for veterans exemptions, handicapped, and so on and so forth. So call your local municipality, or I can do that for you, to find out what the appropriate dollar amount would be to reduce the school taxes. And I think that's the fairest way to do it. So in my opinion, even now is a great time to buy or sell. I still have numerous buyers who are looking for homes and we can't find any. I'm reaching out to people in those areas to see if there's anybody that wants to sell. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, by all means call me, especially with the fact that the mortgage market, the interest rates are in the 3 percentage point range, where they used to be not too long ago in the 6 range. Of course, I came from the 80s where things were 18%, so this is a cakewalk. But give me a call if you'd like, and I give you more of my opinions there. And we're going to do it, by adapting to the COVID-19 rules and executive orders, so we do everything safely. And I can give you bigger details as we go along. So thanks so much for watching, and stay safe and wash your hands.